All right, welcome to the Municipality of Thames Centre regular council meeting, Monday, April 4th, 2022 at 1 p.m. So I'm going to call this meeting to order. Are there any additions to the agenda?
No additions.
Okay. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. On to announcements, and I have a few announcements to make. In preparation for 2022 being the year of the garden, please vote on our poll located on our Thames Centre website and Facebook page to select a flower to represent Thames Centre. Should be an exciting time coming up, and we want to get our flower organized so we can properly celebrate. On May 5th, save the date for the annual volunteer breakfast to be held at the Flight Exec Centre. In 2022, to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee of Her Majesty's 70th anniversary of her accession to the throne, 70 deserving individuals in Elgin, Middlesex, London will be honored for their commitment to our community, an outstanding volunteer, or have achieved an extraordinary accomplishment. So deadline for submissions is May 12th, 2022. And you can submit a nomination to KarenVecchioMP.ca. So there'll be 8 spaces available for nominations for Thames Centre. So we look forward to seeing who gets nominated. And now we're going to move on to the consent agenda. The first thing we want to do is approve the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on March 28th, 2022, be approved as circulated. So looking for a mover, Councillor Hunter, seconded by Deputy Mayor Elliott. All in favor? All right, so now on to the consent agendas, 5.2, 5.4, and that is the regular council minutes of March 28th, the quarterly department records, January to March 2022, a report about the source water protection, 2021, the annual report, and from our finance department, the annual debt repayment limit. Councillor, anything that you want to pull out and discuss? Nope, seeing none, then I'd like to move to accept them. Deputy Mayor Elliott, Councillor Hunter, all in favor? Thank you. Now we're moving on to reports of departments. So our first report is CAO 0222. CAO 0222, the Volunteer Appreciation Event. And I believe that's yours, Mike.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. Good afternoon, Council. Just a quick little blurb on the report. This is our annual volunteer appreciation event. Obviously, annual is used loosely as we haven't been able to have this event in the last couple of years. But as you mentioned in the announcements and the upcoming events, May the 5th, 2022 has been reserved at the auditorium at the Flight Exec Centre. If there's any questions on this, I'm certainly here to help.
Seeing any questions? No. Looking forward to it. It'd be good to get back into that routine again. And it's always a good breakfast and a great chance to catch up. So we have a motion on the floor, looking for a mover. Deputy Mayor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Hunter. Thank you. Moving on to 6.2, CS0. Oh, all in favor? All three of us. Forgot, it's just so intimate here that I just... 6.2, CS00322, the Thorndale Dog Park Ad Hoc Committee. And I see mysteriously appeared Mr. McDonald. Whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, Council. Through you, Your Worship, we have report CS00322 before Council for consideration. The purpose of this report is to obtain Council's approval to create the Thorndale Dog Park Ad Hoc Committee, including adopting the terms of reference and appointing members. This project is fairly straightforward and in many ways will follow the same path as the past dog park committee for the outdoor rec complex. Due to the relative simplicity of the project, how short-lived it will be, and with trouble finding community members to be on the committee, the recommendation is for a committee consisting of 1 council rep and 2 Youth of Thorndale reps, which will be more than sufficient. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Any questions for Director McDonald? Okay, so we've got the report being received for information, and that the terms of reference be approved, and that 1 council representative be appointed. So we want a council representative, and I think Councillor Hunter.
I'd like to nominate Deputy Mayor Elliott to sit on that committee.
Okay, that makes sense, seeing as that's her territory and good at that kind of thing. So we have Kelly as the representative, that council appoint Kirk Hallman and Noah Ament as community representatives to the TDPAC, and the clerk be requested to amend the appointment bylaw for council's approval. Okay, so got the motion. Mover, Councillor Hunter, seconded, Deputy Mayor Elliott, all in favor? So moved. Now moving on to CS 00422, the Flight Exec Center Expansion Ad Hoc Committee. And Mr. McDonald, floor is yours.
Thank you. Through you, Your Worship, I present report CS 00422 regarding the creation of an ad hoc committee for the Flight Exec Center expansion. Previously, this project has been referred to as the Senior Center Renovation Expansion. However, with other considerations and financial support in play, I think it is more appropriate that we now refer to it in a wider scope. Specifically, the VON has expressed their need for more space, and they have provided financial assistance. Furthermore, the Dorchester and District Lions Club have expressed their interest in helping to support this exciting endeavor. It is important to point out as well, I believe, that this report marks a change in our approach to this project. However, this will not impact the completion target date, and it should provide more competitively priced construction proposals. As changing to a design build approach means that there will not be any costs incurred this year for the project. With the $200,000 that we had budgeted for architectural, engineering, and design specs now being able to be held over for the design build costs that we will have next year. And likewise with the $30,000 that the VON has contributed thus far. Due to the size and scope of this project, the recommended terms of reference includes appointing 2 council representatives, 2 representatives from the Dorchester and District Lions Club, along with 1 rep from VON, with these appointments being finalized by staff. Our senior center coordinator and myself would be staff resources to this committee. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
I don't have any questions myself, but I must say that I'm pretty excited about this project coming up. It's an extremely well-used area and getting more and more popular all the time. Our VON is already bursting at seams, so that will be a great step forward for them as well, allowing them to hire and be able to serve the community even better than they already do. It's a well-used area. I look forward to see what happens with this. So, and again, the design build was something that really worked out really well for us in the Thorndale Community Center. So I think that's a great move forward as well. Seems to be an efficient way of doing things. All right, so we have a motion. We've got the report for information. We're approving the change to the design build project. We've got a proposed term of reference for this committee. Now we're into the 2 council representatives. So I would like to, Deputy Mayor Elliott.
Yes, through you, Your Worship, I would like to nominate yourself, Mayor Warwick, as well as Councillor Hunter to be the 2 council representatives on the committee.
Councillor Hunter, are you okay with that?
I would accept that nomination. Thank you.
Excellent. I'll say that we also have 2 representatives, and that will be determined by staff, and that 1 representative from VON, and that the clerk be requested to amend the appointment bylaw for council's approval. Okay, so mover, Deputy Mayor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Hunter. All in favor? Great. Thanks, Steve.
Have a great day.
Moving on to 6.4, PWES 00322, CWWF funding project overage. And there is Jared, ready to tell us all about this. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Worship. Council, before you report number PWES 003-22 is for CWF funding project overage. As Council may recall, the CWWF was a multi-level government funding program created in 2007 to optimize water or wastewater systems. Thames Centre applied for and was awarded funding for 3 different projects. One of these projects was THC-002, was for a retrofit at the Dorchester water treatment plant in order to allow the water plant to operate without the elevated water tower. Excuse me. Well into the project design phase, it was determined that a more efficient method of achieving the same outcome was possible. The revised program was designed, tendered, and awarded following our procurement policy. Unfortunately, shortly after being awarded, the project was shut down for more than a year due to the pandemic and the restrictions of no non-essential persons allowed into the Dorchester drinking water facility. The CWF grant administrator was contacted requesting that funds from another Thames Centre awarded project that looked like it be completed under budget could be reallocated to this project in order to cover the overage. This request was reviewed and denied. Today, the project has been installed, except for a few drawings and operating procedures. Staff is requesting that this $25,000 overage be funded from the water capital account. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Craven regarding this? Again, one of these pandemic deals where things get delayed and projects get changed. All right, so we have a motion in front of us, Council, looking for Deputy Mayor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Hunter. All in favor? Okay, then now we have PDS BL 00122, Wellington Street Sportsman's Club. The recommended motion is that the report BDS BL 001 be received for information. Who's speaking to this one?
I am, Your Worship.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Your Worship and members of Council. So the purpose of this report is to examine a request by the Sportsman's Club requesting an exemption to the discharge of firearms bylaw to permit the discharge of firearms in an outdoor setting, which is otherwise currently permitted or prohibited, I should say. The subject property, it's on Slow Pitch Road at 2290 Slow Pitch Road. So just off of Elgin Road, north of the 401. The zoning bylaw, it does allow for indoor as well as outdoor target range. And it also should be noted that this property is about 10 acres in size. So the discharge of firearms bylaw, it does provide exceptions for properties within the regulated area, provided that the parcel of land is at least 50 acres in size. For parcels that are less than that, only the discharge of a bow for the purposes of hunting or target shooting is permitted. So hence, according to our discharge bylaw, the Sportsman Club is not permitted to discharge firearms in an outdoor setting. So again, as I mentioned before, there's a disconnect between what the zoning bylaw allows and the discharge of firearms bylaw. So ultimately, Your Worship, should Council view this as being appropriate to allow the exemption, that Council direct the Director of Planning and Development Services to create an exemption to the discharge of firearms bylaw for that particular location on Slow Pitch Road in order to allow the outdoor discharge of firearms consistent with the zoning bylaw. I'm here to answer any questions, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bancroft. And you've got to wonder why somebody would think 10 acres is too small to shoot off trap shooting. Like, why would you need 50 acres? But that's something in history that was determined, but let that go. Council, any questions regarding this? No, okay, so we also have that the report be received for information only, and that Council directs staff to create an exemption to the discharge of firearms bylaw 112204 for the Wellington Street Sportsman's Club, property located at 2290 Slow Pitch Road, in order to allow the outdoor discharge of firearms consistent with the zoning bylaw. Okay. All right, looking for a mover, Councillor Hunter, seconded by Deputy Mayor Elliott. All in favor? So moved. Thank you. Now moving on to the mayor's report. This is going to be longer than the whole meeting, I think. So since March 8th, I did a county council and budget meeting where the 0% rate was approved. March 9th, special events committees. We talked about the Year of the Garden as well as Canada Day coming up. SCORE hosted a Women in Leadership event. That was in the evening that included elected officials through the 5 counties. And that was a very interesting evening. March 10th, I attended the Thames Valley District School Board virtually, but standing outside watching the vote to keep the status quo on trustee distribution. Sadly, the Rural Education Task Force report was shelved for this time. March 16th, I attended the Kettle Creek Conservation Authority meeting. March 17th, I met with MP Karen Vecchio, where it was announced that Thames Centre would have 8 opportunities to select a deserving resident with recognition for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Later, I attended the Irish Benevolent Society luncheon at the Western Fair, where Irish food, dancing, and entertainment were featured. March 21st was the Ontario Association Police Services Board Zone 6 spring meeting. And later on, I joined the Health Unit media briefing. And then we had March 22nd, the library board meeting and county council meeting. Wednesday, March 23rd, it was a community meeting with Thames Valley District School Board, rural trustees, planners, CAOs, elected officials and administration, as well as myself attended. March 24th, I did a farmland forum webinar. At noon that day, I met with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing about social services in the county. March 25th, 10 a.m. was the Warden's Caucus Economic Development Committee meeting. And at 2 p.m., I had a SCORE executive meeting. Saturday 26th, with FCM and support from the county, we held a Women's Caucus election school at the Kamoka Wellness Center. Thanks to Mike Henry for his participation. On March 28th, 9 a.m., I attended the planning meeting for Municipal Day in Thorndale. 11:30 that day was the monthly county emergency planning meeting. At 1 o'clock, I had a Canwell meeting with 3 Truro, Nova Scotia municipal staff who are part of our projects linking us to other leaders and women in Cambodia. At 5 p.m., we had the Thames Centre Council meeting. March 29th, we had a 2-hour workshop for agricultural representatives commenting on the Middlesex official plan. March 30th at 8 a.m., I had a Kettle Creek Trust meeting where plans were made for our announcement about a donation of 46 acres of forest habitat in the Kettle Creek watershed, which was announced publicly today. This was made possible by the federal government Ecological Gifts Program. The property was donated and any other costs are being funded with support from Environment and Climate Change Canada Nature Fund. So that's an exciting announcement. I look forward to visiting that in the future. On 1 to 3 that day, I attended the 2046 Middlesex Business Workshop, a community engagement for the official plan again for the county. 7 to 9 that evening, I attended the local elected officials. Same thing, it was a community engagement for the county. March 31st, a SCORE AGM where I was elected chair of the board. 1:30, I attended a planning session for transit course. April 1st, I attended the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus meeting where priorities for 2023 were discussed, which 1 is affordable and attainable housing, 2 is economic development, and 3 is broadband infrastructure. So it was a busy little time and brings me to here. So any unfinished business? Hearing none. Any notice of motion? Seeing none. Any new business? No. Okay, we have some bylaws. We have bylaw 23 to 2022 to 25, 2022. So we have the first bylaw to appoint a building inspector, the second to amend the Municipality of Thames Centre official plan, and the third one to be confirmatory bylaws. Looking for a mover? Deputy Mayor Elliott, second by Councillor Hunter. Our next meeting will be Monday, April 25th, 22. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm just rushing right through. There's just 3 of us, so I'm like, that's funny. Always a clerk wanting to put things together. All right, calling the vote. I was for it, so you know. And Monday, April 25th, 2022 at 5 p.m. And now I'm looking for a motion to adjourn at, I gotta go get this, 1:19 p.m. Councillor Hunter, seconded by Deputy Mayor Elliott. All in favor, we are done.